ladies' night. We don't want to be there. But there are all these brave, brave men here who came here. Please give them a big round of applause. And also we want at least one question from men. Please formulate one in your mind. If you don't have one, we'll come back to you. Okay, we'll go to the third question here. This is about the first generation immigrants. So at least we have one in each panel who are the first generation immigrants here. Not this one though. Okay, so the question is, what significant differences or challenges you have faced during your transition from India to here? Who would like to take it?
Yeah, I'll kick that off. I'm sure all of us have a lot to talk about. So I think the very first thing when we come from India is, first of all, you have to lose the sir and the ma'am, in the workplace. And we tried doing that. That's how people talk to each other in India. So your boss is always a sir, you never call him by name. And we're used to calling everybody uncles and aunts, and so that doesn't quite work here. So one of the big challenges we had is understanding how this place worked. And to fit in, to grow in this country, you have to fit in first. So we had to like literally study. And I will tell you, we used to practice things like, how do you say the word Atlanta, It sounds sort of simple now, maybe we all say Atlanta, but I mean it's spelled as Atlanta, okay? So, and I know people in India still call it Jacksonville, So things like that you have to learn, that's how people say it here. And communication, I think, is the single biggest learning that I've had. Learning to communicate well, and being able to convince and present your thoughts in a way that would appeal in a workplace. So I would say those were the single biggest challenges that I personally had, and there's many others which I'm going to let the others address.
Okay, kids, I know you're born and brought up here, but still you'll have some challenges as Indian Americans. You want to talk about it?
So I'm not obviously I didn't come here as an immigrant, but I was born in India, but I was brought up here. And I can say that one of the challenges that comes for us youngsters would be how you grow up according to your household versus how you grow up in your school and your environment and with your friends. Because the culture is definitely different, your whole idea of values are definitely different. But I think the idea is that you're able to adapt. That's one of the things, like Auntie was saying, communication is really important, because to be able to meet new people, to be able to learn their ideas and get their insight and their perspectives is not only important, but also for you to absorb what they're saying, absorb what you see, and be able to adapt to your surroundings. Because I know in our school, there's a whole, we always joke around about being Indian and how Indians are much smarter and everything, but there's, Stan's known for actually having a lot of foreign students come in, at least for a year. And I met one 2 years ago, and I can say, she was Chinese, but she came here. She wasn't very good with her English. She was her first in her family to even come to America, but she definitely was open to all these new ideas. She adapted very well, and nothing really stopped her in actually becoming a really good student and someone who became really involved in, at school and along with making new friends.
Thank you.
I would agree with Usha, the communication, number one, the accent, understanding American English first, and then the patients understanding me. My university made me to take an accent reduction class in the first year, okay? And then next will be race. Even though I'm better qualified than rest of the residents, I was not given the chief resident post. So same thing with job also, race, So you need to come here, work with some other Indian person. So yes, those would be the challenges I got as we have to face initially.
You would like to comment on this?
Yeah, I'm much like you. I grew up here. I was born in India. But I think that there's challenges no matter what your background is. I actually see it as an advantage because if you are pure American, whatever that is, you have that role that you have to play in school, right? You guys are doing that. But you have the extra of the Indian culture to support you, anchor you. And that to me is fabulous. Like none of your American friends would ever understand the richness of the culture that you come from. And that's just a secret weapon you have in your pocket. And I think it adds, it's not so much a handicap.
So I was born actually in Jacksonville, but my parents both moved here from India. And I think one of the challenges for us as youngsters is being brought up here and then the differences at home and in the community around us. So we are expected to behave certain ways with Indian people, we're expected to behave certain ways with American people, we're expected to behave certain ways with teachers. There's a lot of expectations of us as in two different cultures. So I just think that our main challenges, even when we're brought up here, is the balance between the two cultures. And managing that is sometimes difficult, but I think, like she was saying before, that it's something that would only help you in the future. It's not going to hurt you having two cultures. And as America is growing with more diversity, I think that it's only aiding us more in having this cultural aspect, because sometimes you have two viewpoints, two perspectives of something, which could help you grow as a person as well.
Adding on to what Anusha said, a lot of it is for us, the people we're surrounded by, a lot of people in high school now, they view different cultures a lot more differently now, where everyone's a lot more open. So a lot of it goes off of the fact that a lot of people are more accepting towards different cultures, so it also makes kind of everyone's so eager to learn about everything. They want to know what this is, they want to know what that is. And in that way, it's also it's kind of refreshing to see how people accept it so well. And I have plenty of friends that have already asked me if they can come to TAJA with me this year for Ugadi. So it's they're all super excited about it. And I feel being a part of our generation at this point is a lot of it is that people are so accepting, and it's definitely a plus point. I don't see it as a minus point anymore at this point.
Wow, beautiful, very optimistic. Thank you, girls.
I can't help but commenting about this. I would like to broaden our attitudes, because we are not the only ones who have bicultural conflicts. I have in my work career as well as when we came long time ago. So at that time, we were fewer Indians, but as you get into the society, you know that this is a melting pot. I have faced the same thing from Jewish community, African American community, any community that comes and changes as a transplant to the other one is to go through some of these. So that is, I think, the more you have a broader aspect of understanding. I'll tell you, it was not very easy 30 years ago to raise the kids either. My children, Mom, you don't know. I said, half the town pays me for advice, and you're telling me I don't know? But you didn't grow up here. So, as their children are going to, this is a generation gap between all the generations all the time. But in a different country, different language, just go to India. Can you survive in Maharashtra? Or, if you grow up in one state, you're going to have the same thing. So I think when you leave your home, wherever that is, you are going to be prepared to face whatever comes your way. And then just don't ever lose yourself. That's the most important thing. Like I just found out, Vaishali and I are going to be the two specimens here doing surgery. So, but we survived and we are going to. So that's the most important thing. Communication is the most important thing. Anyway.
I just wanted to add one thing. I learned to use the word like a lot more because the kids do that and people do that in the workplace, like, you know what I'm saying.
Thank you so much. Masvi.
We have Dr. Sangam in the audience. We would like to call her up here on stage, please. Yeah, Saudi.
Sorry, I think this was our mistake. She was on the panel, but it was a little late, so we missed her. Saujanya, she is a family practice in Jacksonville, and internet, and she is like what you call. She has two beautiful sons, and she was a mom. Where you say that she has to sacrifice her career a little bit to look after the family. That was the biggest thing she has done in her career and life. So I would ask her to speak a few words on that.
I'm Saujanya Sangam, and we have been in Jacksonville, me and my husband, for almost 20 years now. I graduated from India, Usmania Medical College, and came to United States, did my internal medicine residency from Michigan, and then moved to Jacksonville, made this as our home for the last 20 years. And like Sarita has said, we are blessed with two beautiful children. And I had started my private practice, and at that time when my little one was 18 months old, that's when he was diagnosed with having autism, and I had to think about my priorities, and it was very hard. It was not a easy decision at all. But the only thing I thought at that point was, I know my practice, my career was very important for me. I strived for it. Always I wanted to be a doctor, and I had achieved that position and started my practice. But again, for my son, I'm the only mom, and that's all he has. There can be many doctors in the city doing their job, but for my son, I'm the only mom he has got, and I need to do what I need to do. So that's when I thought, he needs me. At that time, when he was 18 months old, he needs me. Well, maybe in the future, I can get back to my career. And that's what has happened. In his beginning years, I stayed home, and I had to, I invested all my time, energies in researching about the autism and taking him to all the therapies. Now, I won't say it's a rosy path, it was a rosy path, or it's the end of the story, it's all a happy ending, because like many of the families who are going through this, they know that this is a continuous journey, and it affects the family as a whole, and we have to keep doing what we are doing for the rest of our lives. It's a life-changing event, and I am very proud to say that with the help of my beautiful family, my husband, my parents, and our extended family, and the beautiful friends and the community that we have met in this city, Jacksonville. My son is doing very well, and I hope he will be continue to do well in his life. And I have started back working as a physician in a part-time role, and I'm very happy about that. I mean, do I miss my career? Do I miss my practice? Doing As a primary care doctor, yes, I do. But at the same time, I realize God has chosen me to be able to do the two things. You know, God needs me to be the mom for my special son, and He needs me to be the doctor also. So I'm trying to do my best doing these two roles, and I think I'll with everyone's help, with God's help, and with the beautiful family and community help, we'll keep going forward. And what I like advise the families and the moms or whoever is going through this journey in the autism or in the children who have special needs or developmental disabilities, I always tell them that they are not alone in this journey. You have so many resources available, and you will find the ways, and there is no need to be feel the guilt. This is no fault of yours, no fault of the child, and you just need to accept and accept it bravely, and things will turn out for the good. And don't, first and foremost thing is, you have to love yourself, you have to love your child, you have to accept the child the way he is or she is, and you have to be strong for the child and for the family.
Thank you very much, TAJA. That is a truly inspiring story, and this is a great opportunity. If there is anyone in the audience who have a special need children, can come up and ask a question if you have any specific question. Okay, men ready? Do we have a question from the men? Oh, yes. What's your name?
So, as women, how would you guys define equality, and what do you guys think the steps are to achieving it on a global scale? So not just in the United States, but also back in India, as well as all over the world.
Ajay deserves a round of applause for the question. Yes. Who would like to address it from here, from the doctors panel?
You know, on a global scale, I circle back to my original sentiment. I really think that educating yourself, being broad-minded, open-minded to new ideas, and redefining what we believe the term equality really means. I, like all the other panelists, embrace the opportunity to be a daughter, a mother, and so forth. And that doesn't make me unsuccessful just because maybe my career slowed down for a little bit. So again, I think it's going to be an education and just keeping a broad perspective.
Thank you. Yes, any comments on that?
As for your question, I think equality on a global scale will take a long time because we still have people in the world that don't believe in equality or believe that men are more superior. And maybe in some cases that's true, but I think that over time we will achieve equality, but I feel like it will take a longer time, even though we're taking steps towards it by fighting for equal rights and fighting for more opportunities. It's still in the process, and I don't think we'll reach it anytime soon, especially like in third world countries where women are more oppressed than we are here, because we definitely have more opportunities, but I definitely think it'll take a longer time over,
And I just wanted to add on to what you're saying. When it comes to these third world countries, one of the things that we can think about is how equality is not their largest issue, it's not their biggest issue. Their issues more revolve around, well, basically unemployment. They don't have any sort of educational opportunities. They're dealing with their own scarcity for food and resources and such. And I think when it comes to the global scale, like here in the United States, we're definitely working for, we have all these movements and support from all these different groups, but in these countries, their priorities are focused more towards making their country better developed and being able to first overcome challenges that are for the essential, and then they'll be able to push for opportunities that provide equality for women.
I would think educating yourself and being so good at what you do is no longer gender coming in play, but it's the matter, what you discuss, the way you talk, and your speciality is more important, and what you contribute, and nothing is going to stop you from being who you are. It's no longer a gender issue at that point when you're so good at what you do.
So I just wanted to, I know we discussed the global impacts of equality, but I just wanted to talk about the aspect of, are we equal or ever going to be equal, and what does that actually mean? So I'll give you an example. We were watching NCIS one night, and then there's like 2 female agents in NCIS, and there was this serial murderer's house that they were going into. And my first thought was, why are they sending women there, right? Because you don't know, I mean, your first thought is about safety, and I'm thinking, I have 2 girls, and I want to protect them, right? Not send them to a serial murderer's house. So that just brings to me, there are some places where, I mean, yes, we all want to be equal, but what is equal? I mean, strength-wise, I don't think if you give the right training to a man and a woman, exactly the same training, I think the men will definitely be stronger. So we shouldn't try to go head-to-head on everything. Instead, as Umarti said earlier, we pick our battles of where we want to be equal. And I agree with Shali and Radha and the girls, that we should get education to become the great equalizer in the workplace. So in a certain work where mental capacity, not physical capacity is involved, definitely I think women can be equal, if not even better in some situations. And the other thing we bring to the table as leaders is compassion. I think that's something that men sort of have a little bit less of. So we are able to connect better with the employees that we manage. So I think we should pick the areas where we can succeed and try go head to head there. That's my 2 cents. Not try to do that in every case.
Just one quick thing. 2 issues I want to address before we conclude is Saujanya thing. All of us have been listening. I really would like, this is the reason we started the Mother's Pride, because the developmental and mental health challenges. And I do not see many people attending free educational seminars. One time, one young lady told me, if I come there, people will think I have a problem. So what? So I just wanted to address that. That's one thing. The second thing is I would like to ask this young gentleman who asked the question, what would you like to do, sir? You've been listening to all of us. What is your suggestion?
Here you go. Spotlight is on you.
So basically, I'm a member of an organization called PURE, which is People for Urban and Rural Education. And so I wholeheartedly agree with everyone in this panel who has said that education is the great equalizer, and that through education we can definitely bridge the gap between not just the sexes, but all different groups in our society.
That concludes our panel session. But panelists, please be here. We would like to appreciate all your effort just for a minute. I have a question for the audience. Oh, you have a question, Ravi? Okay, come on. Last one from Ravi, okay? Ravi Sanka.
I wrote it down because, like a man, I always wrote it. What are some of the more systematic ways male advocates like us can help make a difference?
Who's going to address here?
I think number one, you did it, which is showing up to events like this, preaching to the choir. But I think it's just stepping into the roles as they need to be fulfilled, not defining it by gender. In other words, if mom can't be there to wash the dishes, maybe washing the dishes. You know, not having your gender define what it is that you're going to do, but as a unit working together, that by itself will cause equality in your household.
You know, I would agree with that. If you really are going to be equal, then that means for the women, maybe we need to mow the grass occasionally. Maybe we need to do some of the things that that our husbands are doing for us. So as soon as we stop distinguishing which roles are meant to be done by whom, we'll reach equality a little bit faster. And remember, not only are our daughters watching, but our sons are watching, and they're forming opinions of what it means to be a husband and a father, a mother and a wife. So everybody pitch in and work together.
To make it really quick, girls, I'll change the question a little bit for you. So what is it, one thing that you want your dad to do to help your mom out? Quick.
I think it would just be, as she said, simple household chores.
One specific.
My dad already helps my mom.
Well, I'd say maybe doing laundry and other stuff. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, the panelists have been, any thoughts here? Quick.
So I think I agree wholeheartedly with everybody that said stuff, and I think when I spoke earlier, I did mention that the husband can make a huge difference in supporting the wife in the career ambitions. So being there for them, like supporting them in not just doing household chores, watching the kids or putting them to bed if the wife is working late, but making them feel like they can accomplish anything. And remember, you are, as a dad or a husband, in the house every day, and what you say will make a big difference to your daughter or your wife. And if you can continue to instill in them, dream big, go far, do stuff, the more you say it on a daily basis in a positive way, and not just by helping out with the chores, but I'm saying, tell them that they can accomplish anything and that they should try to go for everything. That daily reinforcement would go a long way in getting our kids to a better place.
Great. Now I have a question for the audience, okay? This is one question and you have to say it in one word. There's an Indian pop song. It goes like this. Indian lady, you have come a long way, baby. Who is the singer? Anyone? It's called Indian lady, you have come a long way, baby. It's an Indian pop song. Singer, who is the singer? It's not Dr. Uni, don't worry.
Sorry, I can't resist. I think all of you should stand up and say, Indian ladies, you have come a long way.
I can deal with that, come on. Everybody, go on. Indian lady, you have come a long way. You can say baby, it's not a bad word. Go ahead. Are you going to repeat it? Indian lady, you have come a long way. Okay. A big round of applause for all the panelists.
Thank you all. I would like to invite TAJA Women's Coordinator, Mrs. Ujjwala Chintala.
On behalf of Telugu community, I would like to invite American Telugu Association President Mr. Karunakar Reddy Asireddy and Mrs. Karunakar Reddy.
Prashanti onto the dais, please.